What's up, guys, and welcome back to Project Time Garage. Today we're back with another midweek tool review, and on the review bench today is this OBD2 scanner, another one from Launch. This one is a little different than the last Launch one I reviewed. This one is Ford specific, and it's bidirectional. So I think what they're trying to do there is they're trying to get a bidirectional scan tool that doesn't cost $1 zillion. That is more specified for whatever kind of vehicle you own. So in my case, I own a couple of Fords, and having a bidirectional scan tool that is both small and works, pretty much for everything with Ford, well, it's a pretty handy thing to have. Just like the last scan tool that I reviewed from Launch, this one, it's another one that just has a really good feel. I don't know what it is that they're doing with these things that make them have such a good, feel in the hand. Anyway, that's secondary. Doesn't matter. That doesn't mean it's going to work any better, but damn sure does feel good. Let's get stuff out of the way and have a look. So what you have here is it's pretty simple stuff. It's the actual reader itself, a update cable for your PC that's USB-C to USB Type A, and a little cover that goes over this that doesn't really fit that well, but I'm sure I could make it fit better. It offers a lot of the OE dealer level service reset options like oil change monitor reset, electronic parking brake, cam position, battery monitoring sensor, fuel injector coating, trans control module adaptive learn, TPMS initialization, suspension sensor calibration, steering angle sensor, and just quite a few more things that it does offer. Again, this is going to be a Ford specific module. Now, I get a lot of questions on these videos where people are asking me, will it reset the Canuter valve for a 2016 Ford very specific whatever? And the answer to that, in short, is I don't know. I don't own every vehicle, so I can't really test this on every vehicle. But what I can test it on is what I have. And I can tell you that you can go out to their site and you can look at Launch and look at the tool you have or the tool you're looking to get against the car that you have. It'll tell you the things that it can and cannot do out of the box. So I would encourage you to go there and have a look, because again, I really just don't know. And I'm scared to say that yes, it should do that, and then somebody buys it on my recommendation and it doesn't do whatever feature. Now this thing is in a really nice little compact package. Makes it really easy to throw it in the glove box or throw it in the center console. And the fact that it does so many things Ford specific makes it kind of nice. I know a lot of my tools, my scan tools that are bigger bidirectional scan tools that cover a lot of different vehicles and options, they were extremely expensive. And while yes, they support tons and tons of stuff on tons and tons of vehicles, most people, primarily the automotive hobbyist or enthusiast, well, they just don't have that many vehicles, and there's no reason for them to spend all that money for a major scan tool when they're really going to be scanning, one vehicle at a time. And I'm going to leave a link down there too for you guys. If you want to go buy one of these things, you can go check it out. For my channel's focus, we like to look at a lot of the Power Stroke diesel stuff. So I'd like to see what it can do, in terms of your standard tests, your injector buzz tests and your on-demand self-test, key on and key off, all those things. See what it can do up against things like force scan. So let's go to a truck. This will be our victim for today. This is a 2000 Ford F-250 with a 7.3 Power Stroke in it. Our OBD port is down here on this particular vehicle. All right, we're booting up. I'm not sure how well you guys can actually see this. We may have to get in the truck and get it a bit darker. Well, now that this thing is up, there's a few things that we want to do right off the cuff. First thing I want to do is go into settings. We'll change this thing to Imperial because I'm in the US. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the internet. Now that I'm connected to my retro Wi-Fi network, I can see up here that I am connected. I have all my little bars and things. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go upgrade. I'm just going to select everything and I'm just going to say update. We're at about the 10-minute mark and we're just now to the point of finally installing. There were actually a couple of fairly significant updates that needed to be applied to this thing. So we'll just stand by and bring you back again in a second when it's done. Okay, we're back after about a 12-minute or so update. Let's run through this thing and see what it can actually do with a 2000 Ford 7.3 Power Stroke. We'll go to diagnosis or diagnostics, diagnose, auto detect. Real question is whether or not it will actually do this. Oh, look, we're doing another firmware update just right there in the middle of that. That was a bit unexpected. Okay, I guess we'll wait until this is done. Seems a strange time to do a firmware update while it's trying to auto VIN, but okay. Now VIN scan. I wonder if it's going to catch this, because quite a few of the tools that I work with do not auto VIN this old of a vehicle. It just doesn't support it, but that's fine. Okay, so it did not auto VIN, and I don't care about an auto VIN, so it doesn't support it. That is what it is. What I can do is I can go down and select what vehicle I have, and I want diagnostics for Ford by launch, and Ford version 49.80. We'll okay that. Let's do an automatic search and see if it can figure out what kind of vehicle we even have. So the key is on, engine's running even. All right, so basically I think it's basically setting us up to say it's not gonna do this. So in this case, we're gonna manually select what vehicle we have. So we'll go manual, we'll do vehicle select. It's a Ford, and it's an F-Series pickup. F-Series from 150 all the way to 750. And this one's got the 7.3 liter diesel in it, so we'll choose that. 2-valve direct injection turbo, and we'll do 2000 model year. Okay. And make sure that information is right, and it is right. Now, most of the time on these particular kinds of vehicles, particularly these older Power Strokes, if you're hooking up a scanner to this thing, you kind of know what you're looking for. A lot of times you're wanting to see things like injection control pressure, you're wanting to see things like glow plug duty cycle, you're wanting to see things like exhaust back pressure, oil temperature, things like that. You kind of know what you're looking for. And in addition to data gathering, you're also looking to do a few things like, well, for example, injector buzz test to see how healthy they sound, or key on engine running on-demand self-test, things like that. You know, you're kind of, those are just kind of the go-to things for the Power Stroke trucks, the older Power Stroke trucks. So I've had a kind of a hit and miss time with different readers being able to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see what kind of information this tool offers as far as data stream, live data output goes. Let's look at maybe system selection, and let's look at powertrain, and let's see, read data stream. Here we go. All right, so what do we want to look at here? Let's scroll down and find some good information that we care about. We can look at things like, now, before I go select this stuff, you basically select all the things you want to see on the screen. So I'm going to select engine RPM, injection control pressure. I don't know why we have two of these. I guess we'll look at this PSI, I don't know. And we'll do voltage for the ICP. I'm not seeing engine oil temperature on here. I would expect to see that unless I just missed it. I do not see it. Okay, I've gone through this a couple of times, and one thing that's obviously missing is engine oil temperature. Engine oil temperature is the only temperature sensor that reports to the powertrain control module on this. The one on the dash there does not report to the computer. It only controls that gauge on the dash. So the only way that the engine knows if it's overheating is via the oil temp. So I don't see that on here. That's an obvious omission that probably needs to be there. Anyway, we have these things on here. Vehicle speed, I want to get rid of that. I tapped that with my knuckle, I think. So we'll hit OK. And so it looks like our RPM is about 667. I don't know why it's going not applicable. And injection control pressure is 489. Of course, as I give it gas, ooh, I tapped that, didn't I? Of course, as I give it gas, that's gonna, you know, that's gonna increase. 700, 900. I can also combine and graph these, and I can do that by hitting the combine button. I'll just do ICP and RPMs. I'll hit OK. So there's my graph, and that's going out over time. We can see what's going on there. Now I don't know if you can actually zoom in on this. I don't believe you can zoom in on this. So there goes your graph. Now it could be a little bit bigger, but you know, you're still having a graph there. Dark blue will be my my ICP, and the light blue would be my engine RPM. Now we're back at the main function screen here of this truck. We can look at things like a health report, and we see that I have several codes in this vehicle that are probably stored. I don't know, maybe not. A lot of these have to do with trivial things, but a few of them, when you get down into powertrain control, wastegate control valve performance is really mad. Other thing here is under the electronic crash sensor, I have a airbag warning indicator lamp circuit fault. That would be this guy right over here that evidently isn't working right, which sounds good. So anyway, I can back up. I could clear those codes if I wanted to, but I really don't care. So I have a couple more things here, the special functions and the common function. So for the Power Stroke trucks, I would normally think special function, well, that's where all of my system tests, my diesel specific tests are going to be, but you'd be wrong. You do it like this. You do a system scan. So once that's done, you click powertrain control module, and here is where you start doing things like actuation tests. So let's go into here, and I'm immediately met with a not supported message, which is kind of aggravating. So basically, in a nutshell, what that means is this particular scanner is not going to support all those Power Stroke specific functions of these older 7.3 trucks. Now, I'm sure it supports something else and different things. I don't know, and we're going to go figure that out here in just a second. But for this truck, I think just getting some information, reading some basic codes, and clearing codes is pretty much what you're going to expect to have out of this. Now let's go have a look at a much newer, or a little bit newer, a next generation, a 2003 6.0 liter that has quite a bit more in terms of you know, computer capabilities on it. So, and see if we can read any more on that. All right, our next victim is going to be this. It's a 2003 Ford F350 with a 6.0 Power Stroke in it. It's in the 40s out here. Hasn't been started in about a week. It's kind of cold. All right, we're all hooked up to our 03 6.0. Let's go ahead and go into diagnostics again. See if it'll auto detect this vehicle, since it's quite a bit newer. In this case, it didn't auto detect this one either. So this truck usually does auto detect just fine. So it's not able to read this one. So let's skip this, and we'll go ahead and let's manually input some stuff. Yes. And we're going to do diagnostics for Ford. We're going to say okay. And we'll just do a, let's do an automatically search. Just, I wonder if it'll catch what it even is. Okay, it does go a little further there. So it does, at least it's able to figure this out. So 03 model year, F-Series 6.0, direct injection turbo diesel automatic. It is correct. So that's good. So at least it's able to figure that part out on this. All right, let's just jump right straight into special functions on this truck and see what it can do. Right into powertrain to see what it can do, because this is what we always care about. So air, fuel, power balance, relative compression, transmission. Let's look at power balance. Okay. So this looks like it's actually going to initiate possibly that test. Well, I'm not sure where it went, but let's try it again. It stayed there for a second, then just dropped off. Here we go. Let's record this. But it just jumped out of there. Well, let's go and see if it offers any more in the way of, you know, the specific power stroke testing for Ford. Let's see. I think we have to do a system, maybe a system selection and powertrain control module. This is usually where it's at in a lot of other tools for this vehicle. All right, actuation test. Now, okay. So this one is going to give way more information. So I have fuel pump stuff. I can disable certain injectors if I'm looking for a miss. ICP regulator percentage. VGT for the turbo. So I should be able to change cooling fan, possibly, if that's supported. Yeah, so I can plus and minus and change my fan speed. Let's see. EGR. So I can actually change my injection control pressure there. It actually just dipped and I didn't even ask it to do anything. All right, so I'm still not seeing any of the buzz tests or any of that type stuff here. Maybe under special functions. Power balance. This power balance thing is kind of interesting. I don't know why it doesn't stay up on the screen very long. It barely gives you enough time to actually read it, and then it's gone. And there it goes. I don't know what's up with that. Let's back up here and let's look at a common function. Bleeding, throttle, mobilizer, gearbox, cylinder. Nope. Let's jump into the powertrain control module this way and see what it can actually do. Of course, I've got my data stream, and I have no doubt that it can read pretty much everything that the other truck can, and probably way more. Yeah, in fact, it can read, I've got 9 pages of different things that it can actually do. So I know that I can see a lot of that information, so it can definitely give you the information. Just looking for the testing still. And of course I've got actuation and special functions, but I still don't see any of the I don't see any of the other stuff there. Yeah, I don't believe this tool is going to support that. It doesn't appear to, at least on these trucks. Now, as with other launch tools, you have the option to go to the shopping mall here. So in the mall portion of it, it's kind of like the App Store. You can expand the tool, add capabilities to the tool as you need them, which is pretty handy because you can get in the tool pretty inexpensively, and then over time you can build it as you need more capabilities. You can sort of expand it without having to dump all the money up front. If you never need a certain module, then you never bought it, so that works out pretty good. Also, we have a data section here, which one of the things it allows you to do is like a DTC library. So I can do I don't know, P0301, for example, like a cylinder misfire 1, and it'll tell you what all that actually means. It looks it up right there. I also have an image library here, so anything that I've imaged or screenshot would show up there. My diagnostic record, so like my Ford, this is where earlier I read that power balance. This is where I'd be able to access that power balance that I recorded earlier. So yeah, there's quite a few little features here on the tool that are, you know, that bigger tools have. So that makes it kind of interesting. So long story short on this tool, you know, is it what you want for a Ford Power Stroke truck? Well, if you're just wanting information, then sure, it'll work fine. I have a feeling that there's way better support for other vehicles out there for this tool. What I'm asking it to do is kind of a, it's kind of outside of what a lot of tools are able to do without having very specific tools. But there again, it is the things that we tend to do on the Power Stroke all the time, like all the time. If I go look at another truck, the first thing I'm going to do is bust out a tool and I'm going to run all those things I just talked about. I'm going to see how healthy the engine is. What do the injectors sound like? You don't want to go buying a truck, you know, for $10,000 that the injectors are spanked, because the injectors are spanked. There's, you know, there's a couple $1,000 right there. Is it able to make high pressure oil? If not, there's another cool grand. So, you know, it adds up. So, you know, you really want a tool that's able to do that. So would I choose this tool for going out and doing mainly diesel Power Strokes? Probably not. I would probably choose something else. In fact, the other launch tool I have does a pretty good job of that. It supports them very well. But the thing that I can say that I do like about this tool is it's small and the price point is pretty good on it. Probably supports other cars way better than what I asked it to do here today. And you can expand it. You can expand it as you need it. So you're buying an inexpensive tool that's just what you need pretty much. And, you know, for 30, 40 bucks a module, you're adding things to it, you're expanding its capabilities, and you're able to customize it to suit exactly what you need at the time you need it. So that's pretty good. So if I go out and I'm going to work on some weird, you know, I don't know, cluster relearn process that the tool doesn't support, I roll through their mall, I'll find that, I add that module, it does it, on to the next thing. So that makes it pretty nice. Anyway, I'm gonna leave a link down there, like I said earlier, where you can find one of these tools if you're interested in it. As usual, guys, appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about us. See you next time.